Hello, wonderful people. I have this amazing recipe for you. Guess what is inside? No, it is not egg roll at all. This is minced buns or whatever you can call it. Okay, I do really hope you enjoy this recipe. If you need something different from the usual, then you need to keep on watching this video because trust me, this banged differently. Okay, so we are starting now, and I have some cooking oil. We're going to be making this filling just the way you make your regular meat pie filling, but just a little bits of difference, nothing too major. Okay, so we have our cooking oil, we have some onions. I'll be adding some garlic ginger paste. I love like mixing those flavors, building it up in my dish, especially when I have like meat or something, so that it does not become something that will be irritating you. So I have my minced meat. This is about 600 grams of minced meat. I usually do this myself. Basically, I just grab some beef and I'll just like process it in my food processor. So now this is the major parts of this dish. We have meat like pink, and I keep on stirring it until when it achieves this like translucent color and it has changed in color. I'll be adding some chilies. Please feel free to add more. If you like more chilies, add more. I'll be adding some salt and some bouillon cubes. Just add any seasoning that you absolutely like. I always like to say this in my videos. You know what you like. Your taste buds know what they like. So just feel free to mix up all the seasonings you like. I'll be using some thyme as well and some curry. If you like to add some rosemary, some oregano, it depends on you. So you can see I added some more pepper, some Cameroon pepper, because I felt like, though I don't like pepper like that, but I didn't want it to lack like that chili, so I added more. I'll be adding some carrots that I blended, or that I shredded rather. I'll be adding some bell peppers. I'm using green bell peppers, red bell peppers as well. So I'll be mixing all this, all the ingredients, until when everything is well fused all together. The thing is that all the bell peppers, the carrots are like already cooked, or you can eat them the way it is, so you don't need to cook it a lot. That is why I usually prefer like cooking my meat very well. So I'll be adding some flour. What this does is to like make it sticky and stick all together. When you have your filling, you don't want one part to be separate, because the meat can tend to like separate and all that, and you like it to be sticky. So that's what the flour does. You can use cornstarch as well. If you're using cornstarch, please use 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, because it goes a long way. So we finished cooking this and we'll set it aside. Now let's move on to our dry ingredients, our flour and all that. So we're going to be making our flour mix, and I'll be using 3 cups of flour for this. You can like adjust it however you choose to, but if you want to follow this recipe to the T on how I use the flour, the baking powder and all that, you can just use that. I'll be adding some garlic, 1 teaspoon of garlic, baking powder 1 teaspoon. I like using sugar whenever I'm doing like sausage or like egg roll or something. I added some salt, some nutmeg, 1 tablespoon each. Sorry, 1 teaspoon each. It was only the sugar I added 1 tablespoon. Every other thing was 1 teaspoon. You don't want it to be overpowering. So I added some melted butter, 3.5 cups. Sorry, 3/4 cup, not up to 1 cup, please. 3/4 cup. I wanted to make that as explicit as possible. And then I'll be adding some water as well, 1/2 cup of water, because this will help to like mix everything well. Be careful when you're doing this so that your batter does not become runny. I like to make it as hard from the beginning. Then if I feel that the water is not enough or the liquid is not enough, then I'll be adding it gradually. But I checked and it was exactly what I wanted. It was looking a little bit strong, but I was like, nah, for what I wanted to achieve, it was better for it to be strong rather than it being soft, because it will fall apart. This is just like when you're making meat pie. You want to be sure that it's not like buns, because you need something that is very strong and hard to hold the filling. And you can see this is just like a meat, like you're doing meat pie, basically the crust of meat pie. This can pass for the crust of meat pie, except the fact that we added some sugar. So I'm just cutting it into like little bits. Like I try to make it, like I was too lazy, so I didn't measure it on my weighing scale, on my kitchen scale. I just manually checked and saw that okay, let's just work with whatever we have. So I'm rolling it now. Like I said, it's just like meat pie. The only thing is that you're frying it, or it's like buns. So this is exactly how I make my fried meat pie. I have a fried meat pie recipe here too. It's almost the same thing. It's just that the filling for this one is like proper meat pie. So our filling had cooled. I advise you make it cool. If not, it will start running all over and it will start cooking already. So it cooled for some time before I went ahead to like add it into the crust or the batter, and basically just start forming it into round balls any way you can. Some people are better than I am in forming balls, so if you can like just mold it very well. So what I'm doing now is I'm using the flour to just make it firmer. Like I said, if it's too soft it won't hold, but the way it is, it will hold well. At the end of the video you see how well it performed. So the flour just makes it like thick shape well when you're molding everything. So what I usually do is before I fry, I will start heating up my cooking oil, and whilst I'm doing that I'll just leave everything so that it's well rested until when I'm ready to start frying. So now that my oil has been heated, please note that you have to like cook this or fry this on medium heat so that it cooks through very well and it cooks through properly. It's just the way you're making puff puff, you're making buns, you're making akara or something. The first rule is to make sure it is deep fried. If it is shallow fried, it won't fry properly, so that the oil completely covers everything you're cooking. And the next thing is to make sure it is like on medium heat. So I cook this for at least 8 minutes to 10 minutes, and by the time you see that the oil is no longer foaming on top, you can see there's a difference. It shows that it has cooked properly or it has cooked well. You don't want it to cook on the outside and not on the inside. That is why we advise you to use medium heat. And it was ready for me to take it out. With the way it was so good, like no excess oil. That's why I tried to make the batter like firm from the beginning. If it was too soft, it will have soaked up too much oil. And that's our minced buns, guys. What do you think of this? Is this something you're willing to try? Just try it one day. Use it to shock your family members. I am sure they will love it. It was so hot at this point, like I was struggling to grab it and to open it up, but I just wanted to quickly open it up whilst it was still hot from the fire. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you like this recipe. If you did, kindly give this a thumbs up and please subscribe. Also share so that people that need this kind of recipe will know where to find it. I hope to see you in subsequent videos. Stay blessed, stay healthy. Bye. See ya.